in the past, when we used to go to school, they would tell us to learn a language.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And French was the one that they did to me. Je m'appelle Sunny. Comment t'appelles-tu?
I don't know why you have to put on like this really random
Because you
fake
have to
accent.
put an accent on when you're doing it.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
I
you
learnt
have to
German.
pronounce the word.
Guten Tag. My name is Shay. Guten Tag.
Yeah, you sound a native.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to put on some
what's
random...
the new language?
Ich heiße Shay.
So what is the new language that's taking over the world?
Well,
do you know?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
It's actually not language as
my
we know
entrance.
it. I did. It's actually computer coding. This is all the rave, especially in schools. But there'll be a lot of us who maybe haven't heard about it, don't really understand what computer coding is. Well, there's one Brummie who's really hoping to change that through a series of free boot camps, which are taking place here in the West Midlands. And can I just reiterate, free. Which I just love. His name is Chris Mear. He runs the School of Code, which is based in the Custard Factory in Digbeth. And he joins us to tell us more about the course. Chris, a pleasure to have you on the show.
Well done, Chris.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
So computer coding, break it down, okay, in the most basic form that you can. Imagine right now you were speaking to toddlers, because when it comes to computer coding, that's pretty much as far as Sunny and I know, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, you use code every day of your lives. Anytime you interact with a computer,
yes,
that interaction is dictated by the code somebody's written, and that's why the computer behaves a certain way. So everything from your iPhone to the 100 million lines of code in your car, everything. Your smart fridge, and more now.
Even your washing machine, those like the smart washing machines. Blimey.
Anything that interacts with a machine, you need code to dictate what that interaction is and how that machine behaves.
Okay.
So this is like, I compared it to language. Mm-hmm. It is like learning a new language, isn't it? When you are writing and when you are giving commands.
Yeah, and essentially that's because you are talking to the computer.
Right.
So you are saying to the computer, I want you to follow this set of instructions.
Okay.
And so you have to understand how that computer is understanding that information. Yeah, and computers are absolutely stupid, so they can only do exactly what they tell us right now.
Okay.
And so you need to be very specific and use a very certain set of instructions and vocabulary.
Yeah.
And that's where you have lots of different languages actually that tell computers what
I was going to say now, because I know everyone knows this binary sort of code or whatever, and people talk about that, and even that confuses me. But then there is this thing that they say ones and zeros are literally the bones. That's your skeleton that you build on with all the muscle and the texture with different languages, that you have this amazing thing that we have got now, like computers in our pockets. Whereas when I was a kid, the only coding I did was LOAD,
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 and
then
enter.
Speech mark, press enter, and then press my tape so I could download my
yeah, well there you go.
film.
You're a programmer already.
Yeah, I told you.
I love that.
Yeah, I did that.
love
And that was a VIC 20. They're not around anymore.
Before my time.
There you go. This is what I'm saying. This is my basic coding that I know.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I was coding at the time.
Well, so the ones and zeros is interesting because I've never thought of computers as ones and zeros.
Okay.
And not many people do, because years and years ago, people built all of these systems in the most basic way they could.
Okay.
Now we've got the benefit of standing on the shoulders of those giants, right? They've put a lot of hard work in, and now we can abstract away.
Yeah.
And we don't have to think about ones and zeros. What we actually think about today is more problem solving.
Right.
So what's the problem we want to solve?
Yeah.
And now the language is used to tell the computer how we want to solve that.
Just like
problem.
Picking the right language moving forward, if this is going to be your career. Mm-hmm. Like you just said, that there's so many different languages to computers. Java is one I know, right? And that's the only one I've heard of in the past.
There's Java, there's C#, there's hundreds and hundreds of these languages, each with specialization. But in reality, today, you can get away with, you don't need to know all of them. So Python is really popular in schools and really popular with AI, machine learning, data science. What we teach on the bootcamp is something called JavaScript, which is what powers the web.
Yeah.
Okay. So every interaction you have with anything internet connected probably has some JavaScript somewhere along the line.
Okay.
Right.
And so we teach that because it gives people the biggest opportunity to impact the real world.
So that's basically English for the internet.
You said that, not me. But
I'm just saying it because everyone, no matter where I go in the world, I speak English.
Someone
They'll
speaks
find
English.
someone who will
if you're
understand what
doing
I'm saying.
something for the web,
Yeah.
you will need JavaScript.
Let me put it this way, Chris. Sunny is that Englishman that will go abroad and just thinks everybody can speak English. And if they
Or will
can't,
make them.
exactly.
Yeah,
and if they can't, he will make them. That is Sunny down to a T.
I'm that guy for JavaScript then.
Okay,
There you go.
I love that. Now
Does
let's talk
anyone
about
speak
this.
Java in this, in this platform?
If not, let's learn it. But let's talk about the course, shall we? Because as you've mentioned, the course is completely free, and essentially you're trying to help people place them into jobs. So, the proof's in the pudding here, because you've received 90% employment in tech, despite some of your boot campers never even having seen a line of code. That is amazing.
Yeah, well, to be honest, most of our boot campers have never seen a line of code before they turn up for day one. And that's because, I wanted to try and help more and different types of people get into technology.
Okay.
There's loads of jobs, loads of money, loads of opportunity in tech, but it doesn't reach everyone. And actually,
Yes.
for most people, it's sort of like this black box, and you don't, you use Facebook, but that's about it.
Exactly.
And actually, what tech gives you is the ability to change the world around you
Yes.
at scale. So in an afternoon, we could write some code to solve a problem that you have, and overnight, that could now be solved for millions and millions of people across the
Wow.
globe. So it's the modern day sort of blank canvas. You can make
Yes.
anything happen, but it's useful as well. You can.
So if someone's ending their career, or maybe coming into retirement, or maybe got redundant and thinking, I never thought of this kind of line of work, this is a way to say, listen, pick up this skill, and you might be able to find yourself and navigate into a whole new industry, because they're saying technology is taking over the world, we're losing our jobs. But with the losing of those traditional jobs, there are, like you said, other opportunities and new innovations which we can learn, then get those skills under our belt.
Absolutely. So AI and automation is increasingly changing the job landscape and replacing jobs.
Yeah.
And you'll hear people say, well, it'll create new jobs, and that's great, but there's a massive retraining that needs to happen to take people from,
Of course.
working in Tesco's all the way through to managing AI systems and
Brilliant.
creating new solutions. And so I didn't see anyone really trying to do that, trying to prove that, can you take anybody and get them in here? And it started as a social experiment.
Okay.
But actually, we've proven over the last couple of boot camps that it works.
So who's the youngest person on your team, and who was the oldest?
So our age range is of people that come through the boot camp are 18 to 53.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty, wide distribution
Yes.
across there. And what we believe is, the coder stereotype is somebody that's just like head down, not talking to anyone,
Basically a
introvert.
nerd locked away.
Yeah, and,
Bill Gates.
yeah, exactly, and that's definitely true. Those people are attracted, but then what happens with everyone else? And so what we wanted to do is actually bring people through and say, you know what, you need soft skills, you need teamwork, because in the future what you need is collaborative, creative problem solvers.
Of
Brilliant.
course.
And that's how businesses drive forward, and that's what businesses have said to us they want to hire, and so that's what we do. We put people in teams. So we've got a massive age range. We've got demographics representative of the West Midlands, because we don't choose people based on prior experience or if they've got any history of programming, or we never even ask if they've got maths and English, to be honest. We
Amazing.
When people apply, we test them on motivation.
Yeah.
So does it mean something to them? Are they going to see it through? And also, are they a nice person? Because I've got to spend 16 weeks teaching them.
Yeah.
So, trapped
and you're
in a
doing
room.
this for
So
free.
Shay won't get in.
Oh yeah, thanks, Sunny. I'm actually a very nice person, I'll have you know. So the website is schoolofcode.com, and it's really important, as you say, if someone's tuning in and thinking, oh, I'm not interested, I've never, because no one's bothered to show me, or because actually, yes, I'm a very personable person and I have social skills, but I don't have computer skills. What you're saying is you can marry that up. And you can help them and perhaps even get them into a point where they will get those skills.
Yeah, and that's what coding is a team sport.
Right.
So before, it often was somebody sitting there isolated, the only person on their team who had those tech skills. Now it's very much a team sport.
Right.
You got thousands of people working for Facebook, Google, Twitter,
Of
all of
course.
these. And, some of the biggest problems we face as humanity are going to be solved by collaborative teams that
Of
have all these
course.
cross-pollinated
Does
skills.
Bill Gates know what you're doing? Because he sent a letter when someone started sharing his code. He's trying to make some money on that Windows thing.
Yeah, if you can tell him, you just point him towards
But I need to know something.
This guy's giving away free code, dude.
Exactly. How dare you? But no, because you are doing this all for free, and that is just fantastic because the boot camp is School of Code's 16-week intensive course, completely free. You can go to the website schoolofcode.com. It's in the Custard Factory in Digbeth. But how are you managing to do all of this and it be free? Because I'm sure, as they say, you can't get anything for free in life.
Yeah, exactly.
And there will be people thinking there's got to be a catch here.
And many people come to the boot camp just expecting the scam to start.
Yes, genuinely, I would be I am one of those people. That I would see this and straight away think, there's something not right here.
So coding boot camps are really popular, but often they cost about £10,000 to £15,000.
Okay,
you'll find them in London, and so for me, that money is a massive barrier because you've got to have that money up front, but also you're not earning for 4 months.
Yes.
But on top of that, they also have a massive list of prerequisites, which means you have to complete hundreds and hundreds of hours of learning before you get allowed on the course. So it's a great business model because they're getting paid up front. And the people that are coming on pretty much are coders already. You've proven that you like to learn.
Them. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's a great business model. Ours might be a bit more stupid, let's say, because we're taking people for free. And actually, most people have never seen a line of code. But for us, it's the right thing to do to sort of get those people through. And what we think is if there is a massive demand for these skills, people shouldn't pay, and businesses are happy to pay if you deliver people that are capable of solving these problems. And
amazing.
So that's what happens. We're also now, we've done the first 2 boot camps and really proven that companies want to hire these type of people and the people that we produce. So the WMCA, the West Midlands Combined Authority, are now funding our courses up front as
Congratulations.
well. So we should be able to run many, many more now over the next year and beyond.
So if you're unemployed, if you're someone, as Sunny said, who's been made redundant, if you're somebody later on in life is just thinking I want to try something new, or maybe you're fresh out of school and university was not the option for you because it didn't appeal to you or you just didn't want the debt, let's be frank about it, then School of Code could well be an option. It's free, it's a 16-week intensive course, and who knows, at the end of it you could really leave with lifelong skills.
Absolutely.
That could benefit you for a new career. I think it's fantastic. You're obviously doing a great service to the community. Yeah, what I'd love to do, would you be up for bringing some of those individuals into the studio?
Yeah,
absolutely.
And code us a game.
Why not?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Sunny and Shay game.
The Sunny.
Why don't I teach you 2 how to code?
Oh,
mate,
that.
Listen,
Mate,
I'm a
that's going to be
dyslexic.
epic.
That's fine.
But take my wife any day of the week.
We've had loads of dyslexic
Really?
people through the course.
Then I'm up for it.
We had 3 people who were dyslexic.
If you're a dyslexic, seriously, that is like moment for us. You know what I mean?
Let's arrange that. We'd really love to follow
that.
the journey of those people that who will be joining your new course. You can go to the website schoolofcode.com, and then in the coming months, we'd love to get some of them in, and I'd be up for learning a bit of code.
Yeah.
I am a dinosaur. I'm warning you now. I have one phone. I've stuck to the same phone for the past 8 years. I will never change it. I upgrade it, and that is it. I've got 2 laptops at home, and even those I don't know how to use.
Yeah.
So the variety of people we bring on, you wouldn't believe. Like, the room is crazy. You have everyone from a baker, return to work mums, unemployed people, refugees, all the way through to like artists, musicians, PhDs in chemistry.
Wow.
Come on.
Just everyone and anyone. And what we've proven is, generally 90% of people can
amazing.
code. And the thing is, in technology now, there's so many different job roles.
Yeah.
It's not just being a stereotypical, I'm coding all day. You
Yes.
can be project manager, user experience designer, QA, which is making sure that software
Or you could be
works the way
Steve
it
Jobs
should.
and say, I've got an idea.
Entrepreneur.
Go and do that, mate, and
That's
you
it.
can code it all. Thank you, Swazzenix. And I'll take all the glory.
Well, and that's it. But the main thing about that is, even entrepreneurs now, most of what you're creating, most businesses are tech businesses. And if they're not, they very soon will be.
Yes.
So you do need,
you need to be a step ahead of the game, don't you?
and code is the new digital literacy. So, before it was like Excel and Word and you learned that at school. Really now it's, code so that you can inform people how these systems work and understand what you're using and manage teams.
I think it is just a fantastic thing that you're doing. Honestly, Chris, it's been a real pleasure having you on the show. This will not be the last time that you see us. We're going to take you up on this challenge of learning how to code. So we will figure it out. Producer Adam's in my ear saying, I cannot wait for this. We're going to get Adam involved as well. Thank you for joining us today. Pleasure having you on the show. If you'd like further details for the free 16-week computer coding course, go to that website, schoolofcode.com.